Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Gurudev हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. We are reading from Canto 2nd, Chapter 7, Text 20. Chakram cha dikshva vihatam dashashu swatejo. Chakram cha dikshva vihatam dashashu swatejo. Manvantareshu manuvamshadharo bibarthi. Dusteshu rajasudamam vyadadhat swakirtim. Satye triprasthausatim prathayamscharitre. Chakram cha dikshva vihatam dashashu swatejo. Manvantareshu manuvamshadharo bibarthi. Dusteshu rajasudamam vyadadhat swakirtim. Satye triprasthausatim prathayamscharitre. Chakram cha dikshva vihatam dashashu swatejo. Manvantareshu manuvamshadharo bibarti. Dusteshu rajasudamam vyadadhat swakirtim. Satye triprasthausatim prathayamscharitre. Mataji. word-to-word meaning. Chakram, the Sudarshan wheel of the Lord. Cha, as well as. Dikshu, in all directions. Avihatam, without being deterred. Dashasu, 10 sides. Swatejaha, personal strength. Manvantareshu, in different incarnations of Manu. Manu Vamshadharaha, as the descendant of Manu dynasty. Bibharti, rules over. Dusteshu, onto the miscreants. Rajasu, upon the kings of that type. Damam, subjection. Vyadadhat, performed. Swakirtim, personal glories. Satye, in the Satyaloka planet. Triprasthe, the 3 planetary systems. Ushatim, glorious. Prathayan, established. Charitre, characteristics. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. As the incarnation of Manu, the Lord became the descendant of the Manu dynasty and ruled over the miscreant kingly order, subduing them by his powerful will weapon. Undeterred in all circumstances, his rule was characterized by his glorious fame, which spread over the 3 lokas and above them to the planetary system of Satyaloka, the topmost in the universe. Purport. We have already discussed the incarnations of Manu in the first canto. In one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus, changing one after another. In that way, there are 420 Manus in a month of Brahma and 5040 Manus in 1 year of Brahma. Brahma lives for 100 years according to his calculation, and as such there are 5,04,000 Manus in the jurisdiction of one Brahma. There are innumerable Brahmas, and all of them live only during one breathing period of Mahavishnu. So we can just imagine how incarnations of the Supreme Lord work all over the material worlds, which comprehend only 1/4 of the total energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Manvantar incarnation chastises all the miscreant rulers of different planets with as much power as that of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who punishes the miscreants with his will weapon. The Manvantar incarnations disseminate the transcendental glories of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Uta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitamscha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschate Deshtarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So before beginning, I would like to seek blessings of all devotees so that I speak with proper consciousness, right attitude for my own purification and glorification of the Lord. So, this chapter, seventh chapter, the title is Scheduled Incarnations, and there is explanation of different incarnations. So in this particular verse, the incarnation of Manu is described or explained. And in the purport, Prabhupada writes, first line, we have already discussed incarnations of Manu in the first canto. So I tried to search in first canto, but I found one verse, but as such there is no elaborate description there. In 8th canto, actually all the incarnations of Manu are described in 8th canto, 1st and 5th chapter, the explanation is there. So, we'll just see the first verse of the earlier verse of first canto, where this incarnation is mentioned. So can you just open 1:3:12, canto 1, chapter 3 and text 12. So there, this explanation is there. There also the third chapter is explanation of all different incarnations. So here Prabhupada is explaining actually in one day of Brahma how many, in the lifespan of Brahma how many Manus are there. So every Manu has one incarnation of the Lord. So this translation will just read. So the 7th incarnation was Yajna, the son of Prajapati Ruchi and his wife Akuti. He controlled the period during change of Swayambhu Manu and was assisted by demigods such as his son Yama. So actually this Manvantar is, I think, 7th Manvantar, Chakshusha Manvantar, which we are living in. So before this, 6 Manus have already ruled over, and the first one is Swayambhu Manu. And in his time, the incarnation, its name is Lord incarnated as Yajna. So Swayambhu Manu, in his reign or period, the incarnation is Yajna. So we'll just go through this purport. The administrative posts occupied by the demigods for maintaining regulations of the material world are offered to the highly elevated pious living beings. So actually whoever rules in world, anywhere, in any part of the world, unless he has some piety, he will not be appointed as a ruler. Then what to speak of Manus, ruling as a Manu? So actually this is very important thing. Even I remember Sanatan Goswami, when we were reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, at his time the ruler was Muslim ruler, Nawab Hussain Shah. So there also one of the shloka in Chaitanya Charitamrita was mentioning, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he was mentioning Sanatana Goswami, even though he was not good ruler, so he was not promoting Sanatana Dharma and other things. So there, Sanatana Goswami actually he offered his respects as Vibhuti of the Lord. So, because in Bhagavad Gita we understand from Bhagavad Gita, whatever we see miraculous or amazing, and especially these 6 opulences, wherever we see in some degree, whatever degree, so we see that in connection with the Lord and we see that as coming from the Lord. So Sanatana Goswami, he offers his respects there. So any ruler, he should be pious, and unless he is pious, he cannot be a ruler. So when there is a scarcity of such pious living beings, the Lord incarnates himself as Brahma, Prajapati, Indra, etc. and takes of the charge. But when such pious people are not there, then Lord himself, he comes. So for Lord, there is nothing menial or nothing special. Whatever needs to be done or whatever need is there, he will try to serve in that capacity, even Lord. So actually we also in our life, we have to learn that whatever is the need, whatever spiritual master or superiors they expect, we try to serve in that capacity. During the period of Swayambhu Manu, the present period is of Vaivasvat Manu. Sorry, I said, I think Chakshusha Manu. But the current Manvantar Manu is Vaivasvat Manu. There was no suitable living being who could occupy the post of Indra, the king of Indraloka, heaven planet. The Lord himself at that time became Indra, assisted by his own sons like Yam and other demigods. Lord Yajna ruled the administration of the universal affairs. So, actually the purpose of this incarnation in every period of Manus is to rule over the material world and to see that all the affairs are going properly. So we understand from Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam that the purpose of this material creation is what? To give every living entity, being, a chance to go back home, back to Godhead. And whatever arrangements we see in this world, whatever different things we see in this world, their only purpose is what? To take us back home, back to Godhead. And also for that, when we are living in this material world, we should practice the process for going back home, back to Godhead. And that process is bhakti. And especially Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam. The Navvida Bhakti, nine ways we can practice that bhakti. So that is the ultimate purpose of all the events or all the administration, management, whatever. And Lord, He time and again when there is nobody available, He Himself does that administration or management, whatever. So as a devotee also in our personal life or in our setup, temple setup or ISKCON, we also individually have to be careful that whatever management or whatever things we do, we should not forget the ultimate purpose is to facilitate the practice of sadhana bhakti in our own life and in others' life. So that always we should remember. And actually recently His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, he departed from this material world. So I was hearing the glorification of Maharaj, and we see how his life was. He was always busy in the administration of ISKCON, and he was always making sure that things, devotees are proper on track of practice of sadhana bhakti. And different devotees, they were giving offerings. So one offering, I think Shrutakirti Prabhu gave about Maharaj. Actually he said, Maharaj, Gopal Krishna Maharaj was a simple devotee. Even though we see him doing a lot of management, traveling, inspiring, encouraging devotee. But he said, I saw Maharaj, Gopal Krishna Maharaj as a simple devotee. His first priority was whatever sadhana was given by Prabhupada. In the early morning sadhana from 4:30, we have Mangalarti class and other things, artis. So Maharaj always made sure that he never missed those activities throughout his life. And he very attentively, very eagerly attended all those activities. Then he had his personal deities, he used to worship them, attend Mangalarti. Every day he used to, wherever he is there in the world, he used to worship the Lord in the altar and attend Mangalarti. And whole day he was involved in management or meeting different devotees, leaders. So that he used to do as on the instruction of Srila Prabhupada. Actually he did it not out of his own interest, but because my spiritual master has told, I will do this for his pleasure, and that way I will get his mercy. But he was very much absorbed, always in his own sadhana, in his own practice of bhakti. And we have seen I think everybody has seen the video how Maharaj, when he was in sleep also, he was worshipping the deities. So that is very inspiring, and that is the consciousness of great devotees, pure devotees, when they are managing the affairs of this material world. They are always focused on this fact of pleasing Lord through the practice of bhakti. And that is our process also, and that is goal also. So we have to always remember this. And so much of administration and different Manus, they come. When they are ruling also, there are always problems. This is also a very unique feature of this material world. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. So there is always, ashashvatam means this world is temporary, and dukkhalayam. Even though this world is temporary, the situations or the situations in this world are always going to be difficult actually. There will always be suffering or misery. It will not be easy always. So we remember this, the nature of this world, and with that understanding when we rule, then we will not be very much disturbed or caught up with that particular problem. But we understand that the whole purpose is to always remember Lord, to always serve Lord and get out of this material world. So this purpose we should always remember, and even different Manus. Now if we see in the purport, Prabhupada is mentioning, actually in one day of Brahma there are 14 Manus. Now we are in the 7th Manu. This is which Manvantar? Vaivasvat. So we are in 7th Manu. Ahead also different Manus will come. This is one day of Brahma, 14 Manus are there. Now, one day 14, so 14 into 30, 420 Manus are there in 1 month. And 1 year, 420 into 12. So that is 5040 Manus. Now, if we just look at the one Manus period, I think it is 71 Divya Yugas. So this span is very huge span. And there are varieties of problems, varieties of difficulties we cannot even imagine. And we get a glimpse from the Bhagavatam. So in our life also individually different problems will be there, or when we are leading some community of devotees or things like that, difficulties will always be there. But we should always try ourselves to, we should always try to bring ourselves to the real focus and purpose of this whole creation. That is to always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. And the easiest way of remembering Krishna is to chant his holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And on the days of Ekadashis, devotees even chant more. So we also try to chant more. And even Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, his, I think those 10 instructions are there, which he left for devotees to follow. He says, every day chant attentively 16 rounds, and on Ekadashi, at least 25 rounds. So this is very amazing instruction actually, personally I felt, because Maharaj, he wanted devotees to focus more and more on chanting the holy names. And when devotees, they used to present different problems, either individual problems or problems in temple management or regular affairs of the temple, Maharaj, his one of the prominent or common answer was, try to chant attentively. Try to chant attentively. This was always the focus of Maharaj. Try to chant attentively, offenselessly, and then you will be able to cross over that problem. So this is very important. We have to always remember that this material world, always there will be change. Change means sometimes happiness will be there. Then if we are in happy situation, we should always remember that now difficulty is going to come, because that is the nature. Material suffering, material happiness. And this, irrespective of this situation, we should always try to focus on this principle of always remembering Krishna and never forgetting Krishna, by chanting his names, by reading Bhagavatam, by remembering, by serving. So the purpose of this incarnation is, actually even in Bhagavad Gita, Lord says that, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srajami aham. So there also Lord says that whenever there is decline in the religion, I dissent myself. And the main purpose is to paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So to chastise miscreants and to give pleasure, paritranaya sadhunam, to protect devotees or to give pleasure to the devotees through the pastimes which Lord performs. For that purpose he comes, actually the main purpose. And dharma samsthapanartaya. Dharma samsthapanartaya means he see to it that the kings are ruling properly here in this material world. So he establishes that dharma, that all the people along with the leaders, they are following the rules and regulations. And also he establishes the dharma of bhakti. Whenever there is decline in this practice of bhakti, he again revives that process of bhakti. And in this purport also, actually, the last 3 lines, Prabhupada is mentioning that the Manvantara incarnation chastises all the miscreant rulers of different planets with as much power as that of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who punishes the miscreants with his will weapon. So, Lord, He chastises the miscreant rulers. And not just miscreant rulers, but individuals also. And who is a miscreant? As per the understanding of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, who is miscreant? So in simple words, those who don't know the laws of God and those who don't follow the laws of God. Actually, just few days back, I was talking to a person who had come here in temple. So I said, you can take Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is very good book. It is manual of our life. The typical sentences which we try to speak or present to newcomers, I was trying to present in the same manner. Then he said, actually, I have just come here to take darshan, but I am not very much interested. And he said, I am living my life very properly. I am not harming anybody. I am not stealing somebody's property. I don't eat non-veg. And I think that is sufficient for me. Those laws are sufficient for me to follow. And then I said, no problem, but still you can take. And if you try to read, then you will have good birth next life. Then he said, actually, I am following all the rules very nicely, and I don't think my life is bad. And surely I will get good birth. Then fortunately, I was reading this in 10th canto, this chapter is there, King Nraga. This episode is there. So I said, see, there is a story, there is a historical event in 10th canto where it explains about the life of a great pious king. His name was Nraga. And he donated cows. There is mention of innumerable donations which he made. And not just cows, but they were well decorated with gold and other things. And then he had donated cows to one particular king, but Brahmana, he had donated cows, but one cow, he came back to his original number of cows, and again he committed the donations to different Brahmana. Then this original Brahmana, the first Brahmana, he said, Arey, you have donated this particular cow already to me, and why you are donating this? And then he becomes angry. The story is there very nicely, it is explained. Then he becomes angry and he immediately curses him. And then Yamdutas, they come and they say, actually, see, now you have two things to either enjoy or suffer in next life. So what you want? Then he, now in your next life, because whatever karma you have done, good piety you have and bad activities. So now either you have to suffer or enjoy. What you wish to do first? He says, actually, I want to suffer. Then immediately he becomes lizard. So then I explained him, actually, if we see the life of king, and I said, I think you are not donating those many cows. And then I tried to explain him that, see, even if you say you don't eat non-veg, Bhagavad Gita says, Krishna himself says that, this verse is there, na? How it starts? Yadnesisthani santo Bhunjate te agam papam ye pachanti atmakarna. How it starts? Yadnesisthani. Yadnesisthani santo muchante sarvakilbise bhunjate te agam papam ye pachanti atmakaranat. So I said, as per this law of God, whoever cooks pachanti is cook. Usually I used to think pachanti means digest or pachana, in Marathi it is said. But pachanti is cooks. Yeah, Krishna says whoever cooks for himself, even though it is very proper veg, organic, whatever it is, but if one cooks for himself and if one doesn't cook with this consciousness that everything is given by Lord to me, so my first duty is to offer. So, as a yajna sista asina, so as a yajna, as a sacrifice, first I have to prepare it. And whatever are the remnants of that yajna, yajna sistani santo bhunjate muchante te yajna sistani santo muchante sarvakil bise bhunjate te agam papam ye pachanti atmakarna. So when we prepare, first thing is prepare with this consciousness. Oh, I am offering this to Lord, because everything is given. The facility, the grains, even the power to chew, digest, everything is given by Lord. So first, at least my duty is to prepare as a sacrifice, as a yajna. Then I offer and then take remnants. So then I will be freed from the sins. Muchante sarva kilbise. So I will be relieved from all the sins. So then I tried to explain. I said, look, as per this shloka or as per this law of the God, if you want to speak of eating, even if you miss to think that, oh, I am preparing it to eat for the pleasure of the Lord, then you are not excused, then you are liable for punishment. But still, he was not very much convinced. So the point is, actually we see the purpose of this whole creation, of all these Manvantara incarnations, all Manus, even Lord accepting this position of managing the affairs is just for us to give facility to practice bhakti and get away from this world of dukkhalayam ashashvatam. And the last line of this purport is, the Manvantara incarnations disseminate the transcendental glories of the Lord. So we see that the Manus or incarnations, what is their purpose? That they disseminate the transcendental glories of the Lord. So even though we see so much management or so much administration, there is this problem, that problem, in different planetary systems, what to speak of one planet, one country, one state, one temple, one community, one individual. So we have to always bring back focus on this process which we have got by some causeless fortune, Brahmand Brahmite Kon Bhagyavan Jeev. And always we have to do abhyas actually. In Bhagavad Gita, wherever Arjuna expresses difficulty, like this shloka is there, where he says, oh, always remember me. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yuddhacha mai arpita manobuddhir mam yevaisasi asamsaya. He says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yuddhacha. He says, oh, all the time you remember. Now somebody may say, oh, I have difficulty even in chanting to stay awake, and how I can remember 24 hours a day. And actually it may seem impractical. And Lord understands our impracticality. He says, next verse I think the translation is, you should do abhyas. Abhyas means you do practice. Yes, it will be difficult to remember, but our sincerity as a sadhaka remains in practice. Always bring back the mind. Like in chanting also, we explain or we understand individually and we try to explain it to others. When you should pronounce clearly and try to hear. Mind will wander on other things, other thoughts, but bring back mind. We also give example of a small child and mother. Small child will run away to different things, but then bring back, just like mother brings back. So in the same way, even in the whatever slot of chanting we are doing, our mind will go away, but we have to bring back So similarly, throughout the day also, we have to do this practice. Oh, whether this activity, am I doing it for the pleasure of the Lord? Whatever be the activity, irrespective of the activity, the intention of performing that activity. One may be grahastha, one may be sannyasi, brahmachari, staying in temple, staying in family. If one does that activity, oh, I have to do this, I have got this material body, I am in the material world, I have to work. So we do the activity with the intention of pleasing the Lord, and whatever results I get, I engage in the service of the Lord. So if I have this mood, I have this attitude, then I am always remembering. And then we have exclusive practice of bhakti through this Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam, Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu, Bhaktische, Navalakshanam. Kriyeta Bhagavati Adha, Tadmanne, Adhitam, Uttamam. So we have to, when we have opportunity, we have to exclusively try to please Lord through chanting, through Nam Rup Gun Leela, by chanting, remembering His Nam Rup Gun Leela. So, the overall understanding from the purport is whatever incarnations Lord He assumes or takes, and the whole purpose of this administration is to disseminate the transcendental glories of the Lord. So this we have to always remember. And I think this incarnation of Lord Hari, who saves Gajendra, that is also one of the Manvantara incarnations. So in 8th canto, you can read this 8th canto, chapter 1st, verse 17 to 30, explanation of different incarnations of Manvantara incarnations is explained. So different incarnations which are there is Kapila. Lord Kapila is also one of the Manvantara incarnation. Then Yajna, Vibhu, Satyasen, Hari who saved Lord Gajendra, then Vaikuntha and Lord Ajit. So these different incarnations are there. And today is also is Avirbhav or Tirobhav? Tirobhav? Appearance, Avirbhav. So I thought of speaking something from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So I think I will stop here. Or is it possible to take just open verse Adi Leela 8.33. Just read for our own purification the purport. Actually on such days when we remember, when we read here. So Vrindavan Das Thakur, his mother's name was, chapter is 8.33, Adi Leela, chapter 8 and text 33, around those verses, this description. Just translation you can keep. Yes, text 33, just open verse, we'll recite this verse. So his life was, actually his mother's name was Narayani Devi, and she got remnants of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when she was a small child, and she was niece of Srivas Thakur, his brother's daughter. So as a child, she got mercy, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gave her the Mahaprasad, and then Vrindavan Das Thakur was her son. Verse you can just, so this very nice verse, Ore Mood Lok Shun Chaitanya Mangal Chaitanya Mahima Yate Janibe Sakala. So, O fools, just read Sri Chaitanya Mangal. By reading this book, you can understand all the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We will just read there. So here Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he is writing Chaitanya Charitamrita and he says, you should read the Chaitanya Bhagavat, and the name itself, Chaitanya Mangal, means it will bring all auspiciousness. You can understand even the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when you understand life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then your life will be auspicious. Because prior to this verses, actually Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is explaining that you should understand Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Supreme Personality of Godhead and try to understand, try to read this literature, try to understand Supreme Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Supreme Lord and worship Him with all your heart, with all faith. And then he is giving, actually you should read Chaitanya Mangal to understand the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So here, we'll just read this purport. Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur's Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat was originally entitled Sri Chaitanya Mangal. But when Srila Lotan Das Thakur later wrote another book named Sri Chaitanya Mangal, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur changed the name of his own book, which is now therefore known as Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. Actually, he wrote the book with the title was Chaitanya Mangal, but then later he came to know that Vrindavan Das, this Lochan Das Thakur, he has written the book and name is same, Chaitanya Mangal. So he, even though he had written originally earlier, he changed his book's name. Actually, this is the humility of great devotees. We can see they don't want to take credit. Although he had originally written, he had named it, he could have said, oh, I have written this first, I have named, so please change your book's name. And that was quite obvious for him also. But out of his own humility, he changed the book's name. The life of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is elaborately described in Chaitanya Bhagavat. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has already informed us that in his Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, he has described whatever Vrindavan Das Thakur has not mentioned. This acceptance of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami indicates his acceptance of the disciplic succession. Actually, this line also is very important. Here, Prabhupada is saying that what Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has done in his book Chaitanya Charitamrita, whatever pastimes Vrindavan Das Thakur has not mentioned, he is elaborating those pastimes. So what he is doing, whatever things he has explained, whatever pastimes he has explained, he is accepting as it is. He is not adding some more things. Oh, this thing you have forgotten. Oh, this you did not mention. Oh, this I will mention. So he is not mentioning anything related to those pastimes which Vrindavan Das Thakur has already explained. Prabhupada is writing, I will just read it again. The life of, and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has already informed us that in his Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, he has described whatever Vrindavan Das Thakur has not mentioned. This acceptance, so he is accepting whatever pastimes he has explained, he is accepting as it is. And he is not saying, oh, you missed this, so I will write. Not in that way, but acceptance is important. So this is also humility. So this is very important quality of a great devotees, is humility. Usually we try to prove or we try to, prove ourselves, and for that we may quarrel or have not good pleasing interaction with devotees. So this is very important for us to learn and try to practice this in our own life. So on this auspicious day, we pray, we chant, so that we get some some spark of those qualities, at least we aspire those qualities and we please our spiritual master and perfect our lives. So thank you all very much. Hare Krishna, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Avirbhav Mahotsav ki jai. Hare Krishna.